Welcome back to Well. I'm Laura Munkholm, your host. And in today's episode, we're going to be tackling the hottest word in wellness right now, experience. Everyone is talking about delivering the best client experience you can, but I can attest that's not always the case when you walk into a fitness studio or a gym. So I thought we'd tap our wallet community in talking about this topic. And today I'm going to be joined by our client, owner of Forme Studios in St. Louis, Erin Fahs. So prior to founding her studio in 2024, so she's a newbie, Erin worked in brand strategy, product and project management. She was working in growth strategy for Fortune 500 tech companies, but also happened to love reformer workouts. And she moved to St. Louis and really could not find the fitness and wellness community she was hoping to find there. So she created it. Have a listen and enjoy this really unique take on customer experience. Erin, thank you so much for joining us today.
It is wonderful to be here. I have really come to love every new episode that drops of Well. So it's really exciting to be chatting with you.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's exciting for me too. Whenever we get to bring a client on, it makes my heart so happy. I love seeing what you're building at Forme. And honestly, I can't wait to dig into this topic. We've discussed back and forth the idea of, boutique fitness has gotten to a point where delivering a good workout is just not enough. And I love the angle you've taken at Forme. I love how you've embodied this idea of really taking client experience to the next level. But before we talk about that, I'd love to talk about your background. So you've been in the corporate world, you've worked with huge companies. How did you decide to walk away and start a Pilates studio?
I lost my mind one day. No, truly, this was something that has been in the back of my mind for well over a decade. I think a lot of us are like, wow, that would be really great to do someday. And then the time and point comes in life where you're like, it's not someday anymore. It's time to execute. So for 21 years, I've had different jobs in corporate, nonprofits, private companies. And more recently, I was the director of operations for a large global IT advisory company. So leading teams of teams across the world. And my day started at 6 a.m., ended at 6 p.m. It was a lot. And I thought, if I'm going to work this hard, solving really complex problems and answering client needs and managing team dynamics, maybe it's time to do it in a space that I really love and doing something I've thought about for decades.
Oh, that's so incredible. And I think so many of us who landed into this industry from the corporate world, you're not alone. There's so many people who burnt out or who just were realizing that they're giving their soul over to something that they don't really care to support anymore, or just isn't filling their cup. And I think so many of us leave this world of relative structure and relative predictability, and then enter the studio world where, you can try to make all of that happen, and then a teacher doesn't show up, and then your toilet overflows, and then, a studio opens 3 doors down that you weren't expecting. So there are just so many turn the corner and just get smacked in the face by something you weren't expecting moments. So I'm just curious, since you've made the move, do you think you are working harder, longer hours than you were in corporate?
I think different would be the way I put it. Different. It's more of being on during the day and then just being available at night. But it's having that focus of I've got to have the horizon, but I have the problems you mentioned, the toilet is overflowing, or there's a battery that's beeping nonstop and we can't figure out what it is. Can you come in because it's driving us all crazy? So things like that. But I think it's that being able to rapidly respond to complex problems and go, okay, so how do I work this backward? And how do we fix this? So that skill set that I've really honed over the last 2 decades in more corporate roles serves me well here. I will say what has not served me well, and when I really had to learn is how to soften my tone.
Oh, Interesting.
So yes, because I tended to be like, okay, I need X done by X date, and I expect you to give me the setback schedule. And that does not work at all in the studio setting. So I have really had to like work with my business coach to be like, okay, how do I get people to get on my side and get things done and like make sure we're all going in the same direction and have the same buy-in? But I can't speak to them the way I would people who were on my team in corporate. Just very different. So that part has been a big adjustment for me over the last 9 months.
Gosh, I can empathize with that. When I stepped into yoga studio world, like where I think I had 60 employees at my yoga studio, very busy yoga studio.
Yeah.
And most of them were between, 20 and maybe 28 years old, but the vast majority were like younger than 25. And I felt like I was running a college dorm, and I was used to working in like high level sales environment where, yeah, you have like hard expectations. There is a financial penalty if you don't, meet them, right? You're not going to get your bonus. You're not whatever. And then all of a sudden, I literally got an email one day from a teacher that said the universe is calling me to nourish my body today and stay in bed because she was feeling like a little bit under the weather. And I was like, the universe is calling you to show up for your job.
Yes. Yes.
Oh man. So yeah, I feel you there. Okay. So we're here to talk about experience. And this is honestly kind of a buzzword in our industry right now. I think a lot of people are wanting to capture a really magnetic experience, something that gets people talking, that gets people coming back. And it's obvious to me, or for anybody who's taken a peek at your website, experience means everything to you and La Forme. So can you tell me a little bit about why you spend so much time on this concept, and what from your background made you such a believer in designing the ultimate boutique fitness experience?
Yeah, I thought a lot about studios I've been in over the last couple of decades, and the ones that I just wanted to stay and hang out. And like, why did I want to be there? What was it about that? And it really was that they had intentionally cultivated a third space. And I think we're hearing a lot about third spaces as well. But I mean, to talk about the pandemic of it all, we all lost whatever kind of momentum was going forward there. And I think we're relearning what that means, what we want, what's getting us out of our house. I mean, so many of us have home fitness setups at this point. I have Pelotons collecting dust in my basement right now.
Yeah.
And when I started, we moved to St. Louis in 2021. So as things were kind of reopening here, and I started going to a studio, because that has been what I've done every time I've moved as an adult, is I have like intentionally sought out boutique fitness. I'm going to find my people. These are my people. And it's worked for me so much of my adult life, because that's a whole other like podcast, but like trying to make friends as an adult. But it made me feel like it is like, I felt like I had a home in the city. So I thought, rinse and repeat. Like, I just moved to this new city. I found a really cool studio. I love this type of workout. It's effective for my body. And now I'm just going to find cool people that I can hang out with outside of this. It didn't happen at all. And I was like, what am I doing? What's wrong? What's going on? No one talked. I think it took like over 2 years before an instructor even said my name. And I was like, I don't want,
Oh, wow.
I don't want to pay for a premium fitness experience and have it feel like my $25 a month transactional Peloton. I love Peloton. It has its great time and space. But like, if I'm going to get in my car, drive to a studio, walk in, take that workout, I want someone to remember my name. I want someone to look me in the eye. I want to feel extra special for being there. And I'm not a person that needs a lot of extra, but just do something to celebrate my milestones, remember my birthday. I don't think that is terribly hard. So that was the basis for starting this, is like, okay, we can deliver an excellent workout that gives you all of the physical results, but I want to take care of you as the whole person. So that's where I set forward in creating this studio, is really focusing on the whole person and making sure we're looking at them in the eye. We are remembering their name. We're remembering something that's going on in their life that they've shared. We're asking curious questions. And that's the minimum expectation for our entire staff and team.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And on it, it sometimes makes my jaw drop that in today's world, there are still fitness businesses that have not wrapped their brain around the concept of recognizing the human. Remembering somebody's name is so powerful and such an easy thing to do that can impact retention. I mean, when you look at lifetime value, these clients are very valuable, and you've probably spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to get them to walk in the door. And then it can literally be that simple thing that keeps them. And it's, mind-blowing that that's not happening more often. But congrats to you that you made that important.
We're trying. I had a lot of like corporate training in the Ritz-Carlton model and Disney and just like surprise and delight. So we try to do that. Every milestone is one we remember. We take Polaroid pictures. We have lighted marquee signs that go on their reformer machines.
Oh my gosh, fun.
And just celebrating, like, we're glad we're so thrilled you chose us. Like, I know that it is a lot to take time out of your day to be here. So thank you for that. And then just continuing to like honor and acknowledge them with every visit and build the relationships. And what's really cool is I think we have an amazing network that's already built out there. Women are helping other women getting jobs and interviews and board seats and things like that. And I'm like, okay, this is real. In addition to the physical aspects of what's happening too. People avoiding surgeries, their doctors going, what are you doing? Like, I saw you and you were a mess. And now I don't need to even talk to you about that rotator cuff surgery. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's powerful. And I know the workout is part of it, but I do think it's like you continue coming back and you are consistent because you know you have a community that supports you the second you walk in our door.
Yeah, talk about a ripple effect. I mean, helping people get jobs, building networks, it's incredible. And truly when you know, I mean, yes, of course, men can do Pilates, and there are plenty of men that do Pilates, my husband included. But when it comes to boutique fitness, like the data shows that going out and doing some sort of fitness work outside of your home, men are much more attracted to the individual workout where they're much more able to motivate themselves. They like a very consistent routine a lot more individually. Women love the community aspect, the doing things in tandem with other humans, and also the motivation and accountability that comes along with that. So I know, like we know within boutique fitness, we are going to have a lot of women in our rooms every day, every hour of the day. So giving opportunities, providing opportunities for them to talk to each other and to network and to promote each other and support each other is just invaluable. So congrats. Awesome work there. Okay, so one of the things you mentioned to me, you have a few pillars at La Forme and what La Forme was founded on. Discuss those a little bit, shed some light on how you really grounded the company in these pillars.
Yeah, so our first one is determination, because stepping into a new studio, a new space, and with mega reformer equipment, that's intimidating. So we want to reward that. We want to acknowledge, like, it took you some grit. It took something for you to step through those doors. So we honor and acknowledge determination. And the same with my team. This is a hard workout to learn to teach because the mechanics of it require really deep anatomical and physiological knowledge. So we have some real smart cookies. I'm so thrilled with our team. We have occupational therapists. We have physical therapists. We have physician assistants. We have people who have been practicing yoga for 2 decades. Like, they just know the body and they're so smart in the way they talk to our clients throughout class. We call them members. I should say that. That's intentional. But it takes determination for our team to show up and be their best. It takes determination from our clients to show up and be their best. Next one is community. And I know we're going to dive into that more, that it is that feeling like you are wrapped around and supported. Like, truly, the second you step in and you set your stuff down and you have that big exhale of like, whew, I made it here. Like, this was the hardest part, was just getting here. You're walking into a room where somebody knows your name or is excited to get to know your name. Our third pillar or core value is playfulness. I think we lose a sense of play. I think we lost a sense of play as adults. So like, I want to be that place. Like, we're expert at what we do and we take the workout seriously, but we never take ourselves too seriously. Like, we want to laugh. We want to crack jokes. Like, there's just...
Oh my gosh. Yes,
our most
please.
Successful teachers tell stories. They play in class. They invite you to try something that may be way outside of your comfort zone. And you can just get out of your head and get into your body a little bit.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I've said this on the podcast yet this year, but my intention this year, this kind of 2025 year, was fun. Like, I just felt like as an adult, everything had gotten so goddamn serious in my life.
I know. Can we please be less serious?
Yes. Like, and everything had such high consequences. And I think that is part of entrepreneurship. Like, there are heavy consequences to every action, decision, whatever. But I finally, and same with, I have 2 kids. And so raising kids, there are a lot of high consequences to decisions and choices. But I think so many of us just need to lighten the load a little bit, take ourselves a little less seriously, and intentionally place fun and playfulness into our lives. So that's amazing.
Absolutely. Yes. And we just do.
Yeah. Talk about leaving someone with a feeling. Like, if you can leave someone with a feeling of, not only did I just work hard, but I got to laugh. Like,
yes. Oh my gosh. We miss that. We miss laughter. And like, you can go all day without it. And it's just like having someone tell you, like, permission to let go. Have some fun. Sometimes you need it. I need it. I hear you. It's like, yes, just stop. Don't be so serious.
I will butcher the stat. I have no idea what the actual numbers are, but there's something about like the number of times a child like under the age of 10 laughs every day compared to adults. And it's like exponential. I mean, it was so sad when I saw the numbers. It was something like, 500 times a day for a child and like 20 for a kid, or for an adult. And that maybe that was even high. I can't remember, but it really is, it's nice to provide a place for that. So, all right, what do you, with all of those pillars and clearly having those defined and a part of everything that happens at the studio, obviously, you even have intentionality behind the words you call your clients members. What do your members say? I'm so curious what kind of feedback you get and how. I'm imagining you've pretty high retention at the bit. Well, the business is relatively new, right? Are you a year old yet?
No, we're 7 months. We're coming up on month 7, but retention's really great. And I think it is that attention to every person that walks through our doors. We do try to learn something about them. And we have over 60 Google reviews. And I think that's what stands out the most because it does those little summaries, but it's the warmth of what they experience. And it is that like the women, and we do have men, but I'm just going to primarily talk about, but when they walk through our doors, we know they are wearing so many roles throughout the day. They're caretakers, they're employees, they're employers, they are pillars in their own community. And just to give them a space where they can set that all down. And my greatest pride and joy is that we have a lobby and then we have the studio door. So we do have a separated space and everybody tucks their belongings away. And I will be sitting at the front desk and I hear the cacophony of like different phones going off. And I'm like, everybody just set their phone down. Like they didn't even take it into the studio. And to put your phone down for 45 minutes and just let it all go, that's hard. That's a hard thing to do. I don't even do it at bedtime and I should. Like all of the things to say, like put it out of your bedroom. That's a goal that I have not mastered yet. But people do that for 45 minutes. And I feel like that's a pretty special thing to be able to have everyone let it go for just a short amount of time in their day.
Amazing. Well, it's interesting when I first chatted with you about how much experience is an important part of it and having a really just exceptional experience. My immediate thought was like, oh, she's probably going to have all of these crazy bells and whistles in the studio and like sound machines going or whatever. Like I've seen the most wild concepts, but really when we boil it down, you're doing pretty simple things that are just memorable, right? Very memorable.
And it's the subtle ways we give people permission. I think it's that permission to play, permission to put your adult life down, put it into a cubby. It will still be there when you get back. It's all good.
I love that. Oh my God, that should be on your website. You really should say, like, put your adult life in the cubby and step into
your adult life. Okay, we're gonna rebrand now. We're good. Yes, we'll go.
Well, truly, I was talking on another podcast about this, that my workout time is, yes, of course, about like my break in the day, stepping away. But one of the big things for me is, and why I love boutique fitness, is I also get to stop making decisions. And that to me is like the quintessential adult state, right? Like the adult state is constantly making decisions. And again, like we said before, high consequence decisions. And having somebody tell me exactly what to do that I know is healthy for my body. They're like instructors that know what they're doing. They're very well educated. And on top of it can be fun. Like that is a triple threat.
Absolutely. Yes, that is absolutely something that our members talk about. Is like, I don't have to make a decision in here. Everything is planned for me. And I know I'm going to laugh. I'm going to play. I'm going to get my butt kicked. It is everything I want for 45 minutes. So yeah.
Perfect. Oh, that's good. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about community partnerships, because I know community is a big part of, one of your pillars. And I think it's something that so many people want to try. Like they're always like, oh, I should be working with that, juice bar down the street, or I should be partnering with the Better Business Bureau or the, Main Street Society of whatever town. How have you done it? And what are some success stories or tips that you could share with our crowd? Because I think a lot of people just get stuck in the execution.
Absolutely. So this is where the pre-planning and design came in. When I was touring spaces for our first studio, I could have gone with a much smaller footprint. I probably should have that probably would have been advisable, like by my coaches and business analysts at the time, but I was very clear. I wanted it to feel like a third space. I wanted a lounge, and I wanted to be able to like put everything away and host pop-ups in our studio on the weekend. That we had this flexible space. We have the studio, and then the lobby has this gorgeous 9x9 space that we can convert into anything we want. So again, kind of going back to that core value of play. And I love being able to introduce small businesses to our members at the studio, or businesses they may have forgotten about, and like, oh, I love that thing. There are so many women-owned small businesses in our community that just need a space to come in and get in front of their ideal client too. And that most likely happens to be our members. They are interested in wellness. They're interested in eating well. They want to know about curated fitness wardrobes. So it's really fun that we get to reach out to these cool businesses in our St. Louis community and invite them into our space. And so much so that not only do I have that space in our studio that, again, my business advisor and coaches probably said, that's wasted space. I have a community lead on our team too. And that person reaches out to small businesses and helps us set up our quarterly schedule. So on the weekends at our studio, we have local businesses come in from 8 to 11. They set up a stand, a pop-up, whatever their kind of service is. We've had massages, we've had facials, we have local juice companies, sourdough, soap, candles. Very cool. And it's fun because I go out to events in our city and find really cool businesses and just invite them in. And we don't charge anything for it.
That's what I was going to ask.
We don't. Mostly because I kind of operate karmically here. I don't know, again, if business advice would say this is the best, but I do think all of this leads to higher member satisfaction and member retention, which is ultimately the bulk of our income for the studio. So my focus is on building that goodwill in our community and getting the word out that way. And then inviting people in as well who may never have experienced this. Or if like they have a really popular following and we're a pickup site, they get to come in and go, what is this? Oh my gosh. And they get to experience the studio in that way. And that leads to organically them kind of trying us out as well. So yeah, at this point in time. And that's what I'm looking for in future spaces too, is like, that is like a non-negotiable for me as a business owner, is I want that space that's flexible that we can turn into a third space.
A gathering space. Yeah, I like that. And I mean, think about their email lists, right? I know you're not charging for this, but the marketing, the kind of visibility you're getting if they send an email out to everybody who's on their email list that, it's come join us at La Forme. That's, I mean, especially if you guys have a similar ICP or client profile that you love, that's awesome.
Yeah. And we had some really terrible storms that rolled through in April and May of this year. And we had people who had no power for days on end, and they would just come set up with their laptop and set up in the lounge area. And I'm like, while we're open, come here. Like, it's air conditioned, there's Wi-Fi, you have access to restaurants. So we just have like 3 or 4 women who would pop in every day and work from the studio.
Wow.
So things like that. Like, that's what I mean about community too. It's like it's a lot of layers, and it's being able to give back because we operate from a really sound place as a business.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I think that's the difference, is you came into it with a sound business plan and you executed on everything really well, and you're continuing to execute, so you have the freedom to be able to do these things that are just genuine good for your community. I've seen so many business owners who come in and just want to do good all the time without that sound foundation, and then realize they just don't have the profits to make it possible. So kudos to you for being able to come in with the right plan so that was possible. I'd love to hear so many studios talking about experience. In fact, I gave a presentation at the Connected Fitness Summit about the experience economy in February. And it was one that I knew so many people were just like dying to hear the numbers behind, but I think a lot of people are getting it wrong. Like I said before, they're trying to do like really flashy things, but I'd love to hear from you. Do you think there's something that most businesses are getting wrong? Because we see that this industry is still struggling with profit. I mean, more studios are profitable today than 2 years ago, for sure. More studios are sustainably profitable, but it's still way under 50%. So I think there's something missing, and just would love to hear your thoughts on it.
This is a good question and a really complex one as well. Where I think studios get it wrong is kind of ties into working out. It's consistency. Honestly, if it's something you're offering your members once every 6 months, they don't really get why you're doing it. If you're not building it into your delivery as a regular part of what you do, they're just sort of looking at you quizzically like, I don't understand this. Why is this here today? And it is that building consistency and building that expectation and building their excitement around it too. Like, what are they going to come up with next? So it sort of keeps them coming back from that standpoint of like, what on earth are they going to bring into the studio? Like, I never saw that coming. We have an urban cowboy hat bar. What is this? Like, I'm going on a trip to Colorado with my daughters. How did you know? And like,
wait, hold on. I have to say, you told me earlier that your team actually has a surprise and delight budget.
They do, yes.
Yeah. What are some fun things urban cowboy bar, but is there anything else that you're like, this blew my mind, that one of my staff people thought of?
And we haven't done anything that I would say is like blow your mind, but it's the little things like buying juice or coffee or putting a little flower on everybody's reformer.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And it's something I have to like remind my team they have too. So they've got $25 to $35. Don't quote me on the exact number per quarter, or that they can just do something kind for somebody. It can be like something for one individual person or for an entire class, whatever, it's freedom to do that. And that goes back to Ritz-Carlton does that. And I think everyone has $2,000 or something to that effect, where they can go above and beyond for a customer at the hotel to make their stay exceptional. So it's just thinking through what that is that would make someone feel seen. It's not a difficult thing to do if you're paying attention and listening and just kind of connecting dots. And I think that's what women do so well is like, oh, she said that their anniversary is next week and it's their 25th and that's a big deal. And I'm just going to go I heard her say her favorite chocolate is this. So I'm going to run to the grocery store. There's a grocery store by us and go get her favorite chocolate and put a little note and leave it on her reformer. And that's $5 that makes someone feel so seen and valued and heard in the studio. So it's that kind of thing too.
And she's never leaving. Like if she lives in your community, that person will be there forever. That is so awesome. Well, yeah, I think you're right. So part of consistency is empowering your team, right? And that whether it's that budgets or whether it's just, like you said, the pillars that you guys live by every day, it's a consistent message that your team hears so they know to deliver that all the time, not just once every 6 months. So
yeah, and we do that for each other. So like they're getting that in the culture of being on our team as well. I don't know when this podcast comes out, but we have something planned for one of our instructors and I'm so excited. And it's just like taking all of my energy to not say what it is.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't want to ruin the surprise. So you'll just have to tell me after.
Yes. We celebrate milestones. We celebrate birthdays. And it's a privilege to get to do that with the team. So yeah, I don't take that for granted.
I think that is what the best leaders do. They start with their people and infuse whatever that culture is into the people, the closest ring around them, so that it kind of ripples out from there, right? If you continually have that message and you treat those people that way, it will make its way out to the furthest rings of your community. One other thing you mentioned was just kind of from a business innovation standpoint. I love that you said you're proving that studios can drive both member retention and community impact and think beyond the workout. And you mentioned that it aligns perfectly with McKinsey's research on wellness trends. I don't think many people in this industry, and those of you out there that do read McKinsey research, I'm sorry I'm making this a sweeping statement, but I don't think a lot of people are reading that. So could you tell us a little bit more about what McKinsey's seeing out there on wellness trends?
Yeah, I mean, Gen Z is really leading the way in terms of pushing for what they want out of experiences. It's not enough for us to deliver an exceptional class experience. It is, okay, what are the amenities here? What are you coming up with in the community that I can also have some reciprocity because I'm a member here, that I'm going to get a discount there? Like, are you thinking about me as an individual and your community and how I move through it and what other spaces and places I might interact with? It takes a lot to navigate. So I'm grateful to have members on my team to really help me think through all those possible points of connection. But I do think they're setting the bar for what an experience should be in terms of like it needs to touch all the five senses at all times. It can't just hit on a couple of them. It needs to be immersive. And we're kind of learning as we go in terms of what that is as well.
Yeah, I mean, Gen Z, 100%, they don't see a business in a vacuum, right? Like, or they don't see where they spend their money in a vacuum. And I think that's a really important thing to keep in mind. There's kind of an interconnected web of whether it be shared values or, I build my lifestyle around wellness or sports or whatever it might be. They want to incorporate all of their purchases in that kind of bubble, not necessarily just looking at each individual one.
What's super fun with them is they want to celebrate in this way too.
Yes.
They're like, I mean, we're seeing consumption trends of like alcohol really drop off with this generation too. And we're seeing an uptick in, I want to have a customized birthday party at your studio with my friends. And then let's make like healthy mocktails. And I'm like, okay, yes, I would not have done this at 21, but I am all here, all for it. Let's do it.
Oh my gosh. Yes. It's so funny doing kind of calls with clients and prospects, doing demos, the number of people asking like, how do we sell private parties? How do we do birthday parties, bachelorette parties, whatever, skyrocketing. So that just makes me so excited. Actually, funny story. I was just in Mexico with some good friends of mine, and it was my husband, myself, our two good friends, and her daughter and best friend, who are seniors in high school. And I think back to when I was a senior in high school, if I got to go to Mexico with a bunch of, adults that basically said, sure, you can drink, you're legal here, I definitely would have taken advantage of
Yes,
that.
100%. Yes.
They couldn't have cared less. They'd have like a sip of a margarita and they were like, whatever, like totally didn't even care. Like alcohol was not a thing for them. And I was just like, dang, this is a whole new world for the next generation of business owners. Of like, think about if you had a clear head every Saturday morning of your 20s.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what we're coming into. Or, they're going to your classes instead of going to like a heavy brunch, right?
Absolutely. And as a business owner, as a leader, it is listening. I love having the perspectives of different generations on my team and just like hearing, okay, I'm with you, Laura. If I had been in Mexico, it would have been a different situation at 18. And they're like, I'm getting up, I'm going to yoga, I'm clearing my mind, I'm doing my meditation, I've got my skincare. And I'm like, this is so different. Okay.
Well, I think a lot of the business owners here that are listening right now, dream of having a studio, a business like yours, where there is that much, not just loyalty, but identity wrapped into being there, and a feeling, like you said, warmth. There's a place where they can like disrobe the adults and frustration, challenges, all of the things we deal with every day. So if a brand is really wanting to focus on the client experience, where would you start? What are the first things? What is the first thing you would say, all right, here's where you should focus?
If they haven't, you've got to develop your client personas. I know that sounds so kind of trite, but really you need to think about, who are you serving? Who do you want to have walk through that door? And really go deep into the details of what their life is like. And it is wild because that is exactly who walks through our door. And now that we've been open to, I kind of have the personas. I know them by the times of day that they come into the studio. So it's a little bit different in that sense, which is fun. I can tell you exactly what our 6 and 7 a.m. people are like versus our 9 and noon people versus our 5:30 and 6:30 p.m. people and our weekend people. And like, even our 6 and 7 a.m. people coming in on the weekend are a different demeanor and a different side of their personality in that sense too. But being so crystal clear on like who you want to serve and how you want to serve them, and refining that over and over and over, and until you're like, okay, this is Lucy. She's 42. She's an IT professional. She's got 2 kids. She's got soccer practice 3 times a week. Like, every nuance of their day. They've got a kid with, if you could just build out that story, and you'll start to see that crystallize in terms of who you're serving and who's walking through your door.
And the experience they have when they get there. I mean,
Absolutely.
You're right.
Yes. And how they want to feel when they leave too. Like that's part of it, the whole end to end. But yeah, it started there. Like who is it that we want to serve? How do we want to make them feel?
And I mean, I'm going to bring this up just briefly because we touched on it, but you made the choice not to have ClassPass as a part of the business. And I think that is definitely an ICP, a persona that a lot of businesses have to think about, right? And you said, you know what, we're not going to do that. Are you happy you made that choice? Do you regret it ever? Where do you land in that field?
Yeah, I don't. I have several friends that own studios that are in different stages of litigation trying to get out of their contracts with ClassPass, who have advised me not to. And I do think you diminish or dilute your community. I don't think it started that way. I think it really started with the best of intentions. But it doesn't help contribute to, hey, I see you here 3 times a week and I want to get to know you, or like the instructor knows something about me and something about you and is connecting us. So we have great intro offers. We have great ways for you to see if we're a good fit for you. But I don't think ClassPass is doing boutique fitness a lot of service at this time. Again, I think it started out great, but what it's evolved to makes it really difficult to build brand loyalty, to build consistency, and to build community over time.
Yeah. I share the same opinion. I mean, I think it can be helpful for some studios as they're getting started if they don't have a really solid pre-sale plan or, way to build profitability, early. But you get kind of handcuffed in and then you're stuck and it becomes a really codependent, weird relationship. So
I will say what we have done is really worked with people to use their HSA or FSA funds, because that's a way for them to be able to kind of offset what might be too expensive otherwise, is to use those funds that may be available to them.
That's a great way to think about it. Yeah, it's a surefire way if you've got lots of ClassPass folks in there to frustrate your member base. I mean, personal experience, I left a Pilates studio because it frustrated me so much how I could never get into class. And then I would be in there next to them talking about how they got in for 4 credits or whatever. And I'm like, what? I'm paying over $200 a month for a membership here and I can't get into class, but a bunch of people in ClassPass can. That is a little frustrating. So yeah, it's definitely a choice that every studio has to make, but I applaud you for starting strong, and it's worked for you.
Yeah, we had a lot of objections up front from people and have been able to win over a fair number of those folks with objections about not being on there, and just educating them too. If you explain the why, most of the time people are going to be able to get on board and say, oh, I didn't know that. So it's just meeting them where they are.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh, well, it's been such a joy to chat with you today. Thank you for sharing all of your wisdom, your knowledge. I mean, it's so clear that you've built something really special and needed, since you weren't able to find it when you arrived in St. Louis. Now what you needed exists. We are very grateful. And if anybody wants to learn more about your business or take a peek at your website, where can they find you?
We are at laformefitness.com on the internet, and then at laformefitness, I think there's an underscore in there on Instagram.
Somewhere.
Yeah. Yes, we're searchable. Yeah, we would love to hear from you, or if you've got any questions about business or business ownership, studio ownership, happy to chat.
Yeah, Erin's a fantastic resource, and we're just so grateful to have you as a client.
And can I plug Walla? Because I don't think I could do as much as I do in a day without Walla. I just thrilled by the depth of the reporting capabilities and being able to run my business. I mean, Walla is the backbone of what we do. So I could spend a lot of time talking about how wonderful it is. And I do talk to other studio owners, but truly, yes, you have an incredible product and an incredible team. So thank you.
Thank you.
You make doing what we do just a little bit easier every day, and that is worth everything.
That is the goal. Oh, awesome. All right. Well, we will see you guys next time on Well. Thanks so much.